where to stand. Like if you want to board there, you're gonna stand by this sign. If you go all the way here, that's showing you the train's not gonna be.
And how far in advance will this, like?
5 minutes. 10 minutes.
It's gonna show on.
I mean, we can know as soon as the train leaves. It's determinable.
Yeah, it determines how far the train.
So you'll know to stop before? Can I see
Easily.
where I'm
Easily.
You're standing at
More
the
than that,
you're standing
more
at the
than that.
platform looking at the sign,
Yeah.
and then you'll see this thing, and then now
And when
you
is
know.
that getting rolled out?
No, what I'm,
Oh,
I just want to make sure, is that how,
I'll tell you.
is that when the train will leave from Ronkonkoma to the
Once-
city? You then know where
Yeah.
White Edge, where.
Once
Yeah.
it knows how many cars on that train that actually left, right,
Yeah.
then you'll know where it's gonna.
But you're not gonna know the loading until each station
Yeah, that's
stops.
gonna
Yeah, the
change.
loading.
Yeah, so
will
will
adjust.
Yeah, it'll adjust, or if
Yeah.
you're
But they'll know where the car's supposed to
getting
stop
on
based
at
on
Deer
how many.
Park,
Sure.
you'll know the
There's
last
a lot of
train
things in this
was
little bridge.
Yeah.
They're
one
trying to
left
get-
Brentwood.
yeah.
One left Brentwood.
Sure.
Can I ask,
Exactly.
how
Yeah.
are you gonna do this? What accommodations are gonna be made for the disability community?
That's a good question. So,
We did
I'm
listen in on the ADA task force.
The
meeting
main,
last week.
the main item, I was actually just coming up with some of the spec for this today. The main item is, and I haven't figured this part out yet, is when to make which announcements. But part of the announcements, we actually just recorded a new voice for these. So just to give you some context, I want to make sure everyone knows which signs we're talking about. We're talking about these signs. Hold on. No, that's Metro North, but you know, these signs on the platform, the LED signs. Hicksville has the color ones. You know, some stations are rolling out the color ones.
Wyandanch has colored.
Exactly.
Deer Park is black and white. They're both brand new. Why?
So Deer Parks are new.
No, yeah. Well, they did it. They redid the.
They
station.
may not be those.
I don't know. I think.
Whatever those are, if they're not colored, they're not new.
Okay.
So they may have just put in the old ones on new fixtures, but we're gonna roll out new color ones.
And do you do communication still?
I do, yes.
Okay. How come there's no? If you want to hear a message at the Deer Park station, you got to go outside. You don't. There's no messages in the station building. Either they don't have speakers or they're not hooked up.
That I can't address, but we'll come back to that.
Okay.
So these are going to roll out. Sorry, your question was about
Disability.
Oh, disabilities. Yeah. So we're writing the specification for this now. It's all contingent on what announcements we make and when. And so I was saying we re-recorded the announcements for this system. Right now it's a man, or it's Mark sometimes. You know, your voice is on there, right? That system we re-recorded. The system for train information. So you know the 512 to Penn Station is now arriving on track 1, and part of the re-recordings we did are more seats are available towards. I mean, at least for parity with the information we're giving visually, we'll say more seats are available towards the front of the train, more seats are available toward the back of the train, or walk back to board the train.
And are you gonna say that there's 6 cars on this train?
Yes. So I mean, I haven't written the.
Oh,
I haven't,
put that in
but
there,
yes,
though.
yeah,
Right.
I will. So we're writing that spec. So we have the audio counterpart to the visual part.
I don't know how you can incorporate it, but
Yeah.
there's the concept of what you have at the stations, but try and do something at the transfer points, because that's critical, not for people on a station, but
Yeah.
some people that are transferring from one train to another, because, well, you'll have situations in Jamaica, you'll have a 12-car train, or let's say
Yeah.
a 10-car train roll in, and you're going to Oyster Bay,
Yeah.
and your connecting train's only 3 cars,
Yeah.
and it's way the hell up
Yeah.
there. So if you're in car 9 or 10,
Sure.
you're coming out, and
Sure.
where's my connector?
Sure.
Meanwhile,
So-
it's there. It's just way the hell up in the front.
This is an example of what it would be at Jamaica. We have the same information. We say walk up to board. So for example, if you're standing really far back in Jamaica on the western side, the board, and you read these boards, the board will say walk up to board, kind of implying that, you know, or maybe we have to be more explicit that the train is not going to pull up next to this. See what I'm saying? Like, you can't get on where you're standing on the platform.
It's not across the platform.
Exactly.
You go off through another car.
So
Yeah,
will this
from
be
7
on
to 6.
screens or just on your
Screens. These are the screens that are hanging on
outside, not in the
platforms.
window rooms?
We're redesigning that. The reason it hasn't been my first focus is because a lot of people tell me commuters in particular don't spend much time in the waiting rooms. They either go from their cars straight to the platform.
It's the non-everyday commuter that's in the waiting room, that doesn't know. the waiting
No, that's fair. That's fair. So we just haven't gotten to it yet.
But the waiting rooms are critical, like in the wintertime, because your normal commuters who may not use the waiting room during the summertime will definitely use it in the
I see,
wintertime.
I
So
see.
you'll freeze your ass off out on the
Okay.
platform.
Okay. So anyway, so we'll have that there too.
Yeah,
If they're, right, if
You
they're
know
open.
it's coming.
all in the mornings.
You know it's coming.
Do you want to hear the new voice?
Sure, but we wanna know what mark isn't the new voice.
Yeah. Why?
There's a new voice I heard is coming on the M9s too.
Oh,
So
there's also
let's-
no
let's-
voice.
what- So
We
when are
don't
we
have
gonna
to
get to
talk
see
about
those?
This?
No, the M9s.
Oh.
We can finish this first.
Okay, the last thing I'll talk about is I'm working on. We have an agency initiative to see how we can make trains run faster. So that can mean increasing the codes, which are basically the speed limits.
You're talking about what they're doing on the subway.
Yeah, exactly.
Same.
Exactly. So.
Is that that's a civic, speeds, right?
Like
The
civil
F-
speeds. Well,
civil
it
speeds.
can be the civil or the. It's actually it's really the signal system. So civil speeds refer to speeds that are not enforced by the signal system. The question is, how can we increase speeds? Right now, our signal system actually is more restrictive than it needs to be. So how can we increase speeds through the signal system? So we'll say, okay, you can do 30 in this. You can operate at 30 in this section of track. Really, we'd be safe to operate at 40.
Most of them are only like 2 or 3 miles an hour.
Say that again? Where?
Most of them in the subway system are like 2 or 3 miles an hour. They're not, 10 miles an hour. So it's-
Who sets those speed limits down? Who set the signals? Were those recalibrated at some point, or are they FRA federally mandated?
They
What's
were. So I don't know when they were done historically, but after Spike and Dival, they were coded down, which means the speed limits were reduced, probably
How about curves?
restrictively. So
We don't have the accident in Spike Drive a
Yeah.
few years ago.
so certainly some. For example, from Hicksville to Huntington, there are a handful of curves where they go slower than they used to, and they go probably 2 operators, engineers go slower than they need to. I mean that's a curvy section, but and then
With all Jamaica issue, resolved this up with there actually being real express trains? 'Cause right now express train really isn't, because you still crawl through Jamaica.
yeah. So I believe it's called the MAS, which is the speed limit, and
Maximum authorized
yeah.
speed.
is going to be 30 through Jamaica. Right now it's 15 max. I mean it's like 15, so it should double.
The express doesn't mean that it's going fast, it just
Yeah,
means
it
it's
doesn't
not making
stop.
certain stops.
Exactly.
Actually related to this, another initiative, I don't know if you guys realize, every time there's a bridge strike, and we have to kind of suspend service. One initiative that we've been working on is, well not me, but Phil and them, is we've been putting in some cameras on some of the bridges that get hit often, or like that are critical, so that we can visually see, verify that it was hit, and then if it wasn't a major thing, we can, instead of before, we would just shut down until somebody can get there. Sometimes, out east, you can't get there till an hour or more. But if it visually you can see it wasn't it's something minor or something, and then we're trying to say that if you can tell that the bridge didn't shift, trains at least can move slowly until somebody goes, and then we could do full speed, but at least we don't shut down fully. Because, and then also we're using more other employees to get there, at least have somebody visually until the real engineer gets there. Before we were just shutting down and delaying everything, but this way at least we're trying to keep things moving, to not just bog down fully.
Can I backtrack to signage for a minute?
Yeah.
I come with visual aids.
Yes.
All right. I commute from Belmore,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a huge bone
I
of
think I
contention.
showed you to this the other
Yeah.
day.
Oh.
Remember the
You
ones
got the
that
big
outside-
monolith that faces the street that tells you the times of the trains.
Yeah.
This is the picture of where everybody stands. If you'll notice, the screen up top there doesn't work.
Okay.
Why can't we get the train info back where it was? And they put this gigantic monolith there
Interesting.
that's facing the street. So
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
driving
yeah.
on Sunrise Highway, but if people
Yeah.
are standing there can't see it. And when they say that it can't be operated, well, lo and behold, I decided to go to Wantagh the other day, and lo and behold,
They have one.
there you.
Oh, that's interesting, because we should have installed, yeah, why isn't this one working? Because
You tell me.
that's a new one.
I'd love to know the answer, because they're all complaining to me like, help us.
Sure.
And take that stupid monolith that
Yeah.
they put in there is like the most idiot. I mean, people.
You like saying that word.
I know, I love it. Well, what else do you call it? The big, gigantic, rectangular thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
Monument.
if the
The
one in
monument.
Belmore is old or new.
No, it's brand new. They just.
Oh, it's brand new and it's
Brand
not
new.
functioning?
It's all brand new.
I guess
Can
they,
we report that to,
yeah,
Chris?
I guess they shut it down when they did this, but
No, they shouldn't have shut it down. If
It's
brand-
blinking. It's been blinking yellow light, so there's power.
You're
going,
talking
but
about
there's just no data.
Yeah, no, that's a new one. That should be working.
No, that's not new. That's
But
been
the
up there
other-
for
but the
years.
other-
The one that's up
The
there.
the monument.
Interesting.
The
isn't it?
monument
Yeah,
is
yeah.
facing summer.
No,
If you
no,
want
I know, I
to,
know.
it was raining the other day. You want to go see your train, you got to
Yeah.
go out in the rain, get
Yeah.
soaked, so you can see what your train is. I mean, turn it around, put it to the pillar. No, I don't. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So you've seen the pictures. So this thing, it's facing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're driving on Sunrise Highway, you can see, but if you're
Can we ask
standing,
Chris? Can we ask Chris
if you're standing
to
there, it's ridiculous.
Activate those, Sean Nunes to activate those ABPS.
I mean, take that big thing, turn it 180 around.
Yeah. Well, that's unlikely to happen, but I'd like to get the old screen working.
Just get the old one up, and that'll
Yeah.
make everybody happy who's
Yeah.
standing there,
At
looking
least
for.
him anyway.
Sure.
Well, no, some, everyone's.
kidding.
No, I mean, everybody complains because they all stand here and there's no sign. You can't see anything.
Just curious, why is Belmore different? Was that a test case, just, because most of those stations are like cookie cutter.
Yeah. So
On
the
the
one in
branch.
Wantagh, that screen that you just showed me is a new screen, which
Yeah.
makes me think. I don't know why they didn't put a new screen in also in Belmore. So, I'd have to ask.
I mean, they're still
See
working on
what
it because
the-
they've had a few setbacks. They had a high-low there a couple weeks ago that went up in flames.
Interesting.
So there were workers there this morning doing something. I don't know what the heck they were doing. There's workers there every morning.
Yeah.
But if you can get that, that'll make a lot of people in that
You'll be a
station
hero,
happy.
Will.
Will I? Alright.
Anything else?
Well, you could record the voice.
And then I have one more request. I have the picture on my phone, but I don't want to call it up.
Yeah.
East End Concourse. Can you move that monitor that
West.
tells you that? Oh, I'm sorry, West End Concourse. Can you physically just move that monitor? It's in a. Right now, there's a wall here, and the monitor is here in the corner. So you have to be standing over here just to see your train information. If you just go down there, you'll see it.
Okay.
And everybody's got to gather over here because there's a big blue wall of blue here. You can't see the
And
monitor.
now that there's construction, you're saying.
Yeah, well, it's been that way for months. That monitor, you can't see it unless you're standing directly in front. I pull it up on my phone, but I can't. And I
Okay.
don't think it's in here.
Okay. Hopefully I'll see that. I can go over there.
I'll walk
I
right
can,
over.
I can ask. I can ask.
One quick question, with the new signs that you have in color,
Yeah.
I mean, was there research done that actually is more visual?
You
Is
mean-
better visually for people to see? Because I heard complaints the other way that
Yeah.
it's harder to read some of these new signs, the color ones, like at Hicksville.
Yeah. So I've heard that too. I'm not against.
Brian, are you on the phone? Brian?
I'm still here. I was going to say that there's inconsistency with all the different monitors that are going up. It's funny because one will be put up 6 months after another, and it's either worse than what was there, or sometimes there's an improvement. If you bring up Hicksville, so they added them in the tunnel on the west end there. Great sign, great visual, but the ones that were upstairs, I mean, they're too far from each other and they're hard to read from a distance. I know they were trying this coloring of them versus the old dot matrix kind, but
Yeah.
sometimes they're actually worse because of the color choices, or they're trying to make it reflect the branch color, the
Yeah.
purples, the blues, and the greens, and from a distance, it's it's hard to read. But it's funny because every time you see a different board go up, it's like a new model or a new version. There's no consistency throughout the different stations or platforms.
Yeah. I mean, I basically tried at least. I can't guarantee that we're not going to have different hardware in different places, but I'm trying to put the same design across everything. So.
Can't do it. I can't do it.
I know.
Yeah. So
My mother.
I would like it to look consistent in terms of branding and how you get your information. it's my best shot at doing that. But look, before I was working on this, nobody, these are different screens. Unfortunately, are maintained by different departments, and so if there's no cross-functional interest to make it all look the same, it wasn't gonna happen. So, but now it's slowly happening.
One more
Yes.
communication
Yeah.
issue, because I think we kind of got cut off with, when we had that Friday from hell.
Yes.
I commute out of Patchogue,
Mhm.
so I'm east of Babylon. For some reason, Babylon does not get information properly, or they don't distribute the information properly. So if you go into Babylon, you're fine. But if you have to change trains
Sure,
at Babylon,
Sure.
there are occasions you'll show up. There's no connecting train, but there's no notification. There's no
Sure,
nothing.
sure.
What do you do? When's the next one coming in? There's got to be a better way to handle, the connectors in Babylon.
We get a lot of complaints about
Sure.
Babylon.
That's interesting. I should probably spend more time at Babylon, especially during rush hour. But this is part of my plan. I mean, this is why we did my LIRR. It's the start of. Ideally, we would have some form of Ideally, I actually want to go straight to the customers, which is to say, develop an app. Because at the end of the day, everyone has a smartphone. Develop an app that gives you personalized information, so it knows that you're connecting up. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say,
Sure.
I was on the Babylon platform
Sure.
that day.
Sure.
Nobody, basically didn't have room for an app. You couldn't download an app if you didn't have it.
Sure.
You have weekend travelers, one-time travelers who were going out trying to. This poor woman was like, I don't even know where Spionk is, but I'm supposed to go there. How do I get there?
Sure.
And I said, I wish I could tell you, but there's buses there. I don't know where they're going. There's nobody on the platform. So, telling people to rely on an app is good to have as a resource,
Yeah.
but it shouldn't be the only source. There have to be people involved in the equation. There have to be live announcements that are made. There was not a single live announcement made the entire time I was there. The one poor conductor who was on the platform waiting to change trains was just being bombarded with people who
Sure.
had no idea
Sure.
what they were doing, and he didn't know what was happening.
Sure.
I texted Hector because I was afraid someone was going to get hurt.
Sure.
To just make sure that there were some communications. And I know that things are evolving and happening at a rapid pace, but then to cram everybody onto a train that is an express train that goes local, as opposed to keeping the express train and then having the local train right behind it without knowing. I mean, I have the apps,
Sure.
and I couldn't figure it
Sure.
out. I have my LIRR
Sure.
knowledge, and it just wasn't, as I said
Sure.
before, it just wasn't showing any of that kind of updated information. So apps are a great resource, but I don't think they can be the only resource.
I mean, I agree with you. Can we go off the record for 2 seconds, or can I give an earnest opinion?
Probably.